switch out the tank. Oh man, I had to really tighten these things on there, don't I? That's really not even that empty. Oh, it's definitely not empty. Okay. Nice, full tank. Okay. Good. Stream's good. Okay, cool. Oh, all right, let's see. Let's start getting all this together here. It's not bad. It's a little big. A little sweepy. Oh, God, that was loud. All right. I need... There is a couple spikes over here that are missing. That were finished things, and I don't know where the hell they went. It's so weird. You and that one's not great. Let's find a better one. You'll do. Okay, perfect. Where the hell did that other spike go? Lighter. I need a lighter. All right. Ready to roll. Need my gloves. Here? No. Oh, there it is. Perfect. Yeah, you'll be used. Although, cool. Let's give this a go. on the fan. Almost forgot. I let in some friggin' rain. Okay. Okay, got the fan on, we're good. Cool. That was close. Don't do that a lot.
getting there. you are out there watching, don't forget to say hello, guys. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, your chat will pop up right in the video, so I will be able to reply to you no matter what platform you're on. So please don't hesitate to say hello if you have any questions. Also, feel free. If it's your first time in the channel, definitely say hello. things work for me. good. I like it. All right, let's get one more in there. Will do. If you are out there, don't forget to say hello. Let me know you're out there. Let me know you're watching. If you're also new to the channel and you have any questions, please feel free. Ask away. to do with this thing. Okay. No, a little project my friend kind of got me started on. We took one of these spikes and I just kind of hammered out and bent the crap out of it. And he was like, "Man, that'd be a really cool coat hook. You could put them on something and use them as a coat hook." So this thing is drifting like hell. So I'm basically trying to build a 3-pack to make like a coat rack kind of thing. So that's the general idea anyway. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. God knows if I'll even sell it, but I don't have the bolts to mount it or anything yet. I just kind of have the idea, so I'm just sort of doing it. Probably U-bolts. I'll probably U-bolt around the top, around the head, like right below that, and just U-bolt them to whatever board or whatever mount I want to put them on. So that's about the best idea I could come up with, frankly. That would be interesting, but I just worry about like a secure mounting process. Like I could mount them that way, but it's more like I want to be able to give it to somebody else. Well, like if I did it, it would have to have some kind of, what I would probably do is bend this out and and then weld some kind of big ass screw on it, maybe. I think that might be like the only way I could do it, like a drywall screw. I think that might be the only way I could do it, so people could like turn it into a stud. I mean, that would be possible. But, oh, so you mean just go the other way around? Well, I mean, yeah, that would work. I still think probably welding a big old drywall screw or a decent sized wood screw onto it would be a good way to, to get it into the board. That's not a bad way to go. It's kind of interesting. Maybe I'll do that with one of them. Let me, You know what? I don't like this one as much. Let me do this one. The one I just cooled off. So I'll bend that tip out and try to really flatten it down. And if I can, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, that's the easiest way to get it to like stay, I think. I mean, yeah, I could spike it in, but these things aren't that sharp, and unless I really precision hammer it to get it to stay right, I just think that would be a cool, easy way to get it to just stay. Just weld a screw on and then just turn it into whatever, drill a little pilot hole, and then just turn it in the rest of the way into the wood. I mean, that would be cool just to mount it on your wall that way. Well, right, like hammering it into the board to get it to stay on would be tricky. But I think the screw wouldn't be bad. I have some decking screws over here. God knows how this is going to go. Let's see. I don't have a lot of these left. Do I have anything better? Anything else? Oh, that's perfect. Oh, there's screws right there. Cool. I went all the way over there for nothing. Oh, no, those are nails. Never mind. Now that I bent it so much, it's going to be a little hard to turn it back. Ah. Mount it like that. More diameter to bite to. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's going to bend. I mean, I don't think this is going to bend. I'm more worried about the screw holding weight. That's the thing. Yeah, I guess the decking screws are probably what I'm going to have to do. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, obviously if I did that in the future, I'm just looking at, this is proof of concept right now because I already started screwing with this one. So instead of trying to hammer out another one, yeah, I know it's a little low, but, you know, I'm kind of going with one of the ones that I already had instead of going crazy and getting a whole nother one out. These decking screws might be a little bit better, but I don't want to go too big. Yeah, shape and stuff like that I'll worry about in the future. Shit, I gotta cut this off. I wish my grinder wasn't down there on the floor, being, off. Let's see. I think I'm about good with the shape. This is proof of concept. Like, to see if it'll actually work like this. Yeah, okay, I'm happy with this, so I'm gonna kill this thing. Well, I've got, like I said, regular decking screws are supposed to be pretty good against shearing, so I don't think, again, I can test it. I have a pretty heavy coat upstairs that I can test it on. Let me dunk this in the cold so I don't burn my dumb ass. Oh, that's hot. That's still hot too. Okay. I mean, if people come into your house and hang on your coat rack, you may have to reevaluate your choice of friends. I mean, far be it for me to judge anybody's friends, but just a thought. Alright, let's try the grinder out here. I gotta bring this thing all the way back up. I have unhooked it because my new grinder probably be here at the end of the month. So I'm trying not to grind any projects because I don't want to do any more projects with bad grinds on them. I'm going to get good finishes from hitherforth. Okay. There we go, get back there. Yeah, I don't like that. Why didn't I have this problem before? This thing really has moved close to there, hasn't it? I gotta pull this thing back. I think this thing is creeping closer and closer. How did I have this set up before? it must have been more like that, because now that's not in the way. That's better. Alright, so I'll do a quick grind on this to get a flat spot here. And then I'll grind off the screw. We'll say most of the way. I don't need it super long, but I know I'm going to fuck up the weld something fierce, so... Let me adjust the audio. I really didn't want to use this thing because I was trying to keep the basement clean, but it's going to get loud. Let's hope this thing doesn't want to run away. Probably will. If it does, I'm just going to have to shut it off. Maybe it'll vibrate in the right direction. That's not the right direction. I could have just used the wheel cutter. You know, it's a little long, but again, proof of concept more than anything else. Okay. Let's put you back. And we'll bring out the welder, my friend. Yeah, I gotta learn how to use this damn thing eventually. Oh shit! I don't have the stool over here. Grab the stool. Stool helps. Yeah. Shit's heavy. Yeah, I'm sure it is. And I already suck at welding, so I have no doubt this is not going to be easy. So I'll find some way to fuck this up. Don't you worry about that. Yeah, it's not going to be fun, but I need to learn these little dumb things. Everything's getting magnetized over there. I scraped that off. So, well, except I didn't on the sides. Where's a little file at? I knew I should have just taken it down to the bottom. I mean, I think they're just painted, so the paint will burn right off, I think. I'm confused what you mean then. Oh, yeah, I know you were saying that, but so the idea I'm thinking about, as dumb as it would be, is say this is your mounting block. You're going to mount your coat rack on this thing, okay? Imagine it's bigger and enough to hold a couple of these. What I'm thinking is this gets welded, so you weld the screw onto this. Remove the wrong hand because I'm tired. So you weld this onto this. So you got basically this thing. Right. Well, it would be, but what I'm thinking is if you have the screw on here like this, well, the tip, I'd have to find some weird way to bury the tip in. That's the problem. And unless I hammer it perfectly straight and hammer it into a perfect piece of steel, it's going to be very hard to get in there. So the easiest way, I think, is just to weld this on with a good large amount of weld with probably a shorter screw first off. I'd probably cut this screw off, weld the daylights out of it, drill a pilot hole through here, twist it so that when it's done, it just sits there like this, coming out of the thing. So that's the general. You think that this decking screw is too tiny? I don't know. I think it would hold more than enough weight. So let's find out. Let's do some research. I have a few decking screws. Where's my C-clamp? Let's do some research and some homework. No, well, not if most, if not all of the screw is in the wood. I'm thinking of a screw just long enough so that the whole screw is buried up to the weld. So if the whole screw is buried up to the weld, as long as the weld is strong, I would assume it would hold. Oh, I can't fucking mount this on this side. Oh, you're a positive influence. Everybody's in such a good mood today. Well, in that case, now I'm just going to hold on and make you wait. I'm probably just going for it because it's the only welding I know. If I clamp the ground on, I'm going to put the I'm going to put this in the vise. Actually, why I don't know why I'm putting this one in here. I want to test one of these and see what kind of bend strength it's got. But I'm going to put that in the vise, attach the ground block to it, hold the screw on, and just just tack it on first, and then do the rest of the welding. Where the hell did I put the screws? Oh, there they are. Well, yeah, it's going to be just little welds. I get that. But once I put the whole thing on, I thought these things would have more shear strength than that. I didn't think I would be able to break it. These are supposed to be the deckmate ones that are good for building decks. You would think that they'd be made with better shear strength. Or at least I would think that. I don't know. I don't know anything, apparently. Oh, I have another bolt back here of any kind. I think it's shit. I am very, very empty on the extra parts scale. Oof. I got these big old drywall anchors. Yeah, that's gonna work. These 3 thread per inch drywall anchors. Shit. I don't have any extra bits. Well, no, don't have any extra bits. I have nothing else hanging around the shop. Oh, yeah. No worries. I'll just forge something out and tap it myself with all the taps I don't have. Actually, I have a couple taps that I got, but no, that's not going to happen. Well, then I don't really give a shit about strength on this because, again, this is proof of concept. This is a will this work the way I think it will kind of thing. So, if it works with this screw as far as welding it together, it can work with any other screw. Wow, that's really not very straight, is it? Shit. Well, I thought for looks it would look cool, the way it's set off like that, and that keeps it a little bit more away from the wall, because if I put it like this, and say I mount it like this to whatever, it doesn't have a lot of clearance. So obviously if the thing's bigger, you don't have a lot of clearance. But that piece, that little extra twist gives it, well, that's what it's supposed to be. The original idea was just to take them like this and just, use them like this and mount them on a board thusly, and just hang the coat on there so you can still see the head of the coat rack. I mean, I like the idea of that's why I kind of dulled all the ends of these. So I kind of flattened all the ends of the hooks. So yeah, that's why I thought add that little curve like that, basically for that purpose. Yeah, that's really crooked. Jesus. I don't think this is going to move, but we're going to try. Yep, that's not happening. Well, I didn't like this one anyway, so I really didn't give a shit. So, what's an XLR wheel? I've used a cutoff wheel. I don't know what an XLR wheel is. I've used a cutoff, a wire wheel. I don't know what the hell an XLR wheel is, though. I might have seen it, but I don't know. I'm terrible with terminology, in case you hadn't already guessed. Actually, you probably already had. Yeah, I've seen those. I didn't really. I hadn't really thought of purchasing one up. I'd seen them. They look cool. I just didn't really see a need for one. The only thing I have over there is a flap disc wheel. So that's the only thing I have is... Oh, man, I really should put on sleeves. Oh, shit. I don't have sleeves. Fuck. Man, I wasn't planning on welding, so I didn't bring a shirt down here. I don't like this one bit. Well, I got this thing. It's not my first choice, but oh, that does nothing. Okay, cool. Put that right back. And it doesn't protect my arms one bit. Cool. Yeah, well, once I have the new grinder at the end of the month, I mean, that's going to get used for basically everything. It's more powerful. You know, I mean, my angle grinder's fun, but, you know, it's basically my cutoff wheel. Right. I mean, on the bench grinder, it's... Well, okay, I've seen them on... I think I've seen a smaller one on an angle grinder, too, but... Yeah, I mean, it would be cool on there, but once I get the new grinder's just going to do work. The new grinder's going right there. That's pretty much already set. That's why I've cleared out most of the stuff that's down here. And the new grinder, the 3 horsepower monster, is going to be... It's going to be put right there, and then we'll have all the tools we need to do all this stuff. Oh, man, I can't do this without sleeves on. There's no way I'm doing this without sleeves on. Well, I'll look into one. I'll take a peek, but I don't even think I'm really going to have the bench grinder hooked up too much, except for like light sharpening and stuff. So, plus I don't really plan on doing this kind of stuff a lot. I mean, this is me killing time. This is killing time until the grinder arrives, because the issue is I have a lot of stuff all set up and ready to go. I have Damascus steel. I have a great blade that I'm ready to work on. That's, you know, almost close to finished. But the problem is the grinds aren't straight. I don't like the way it's set up. There's a lot of issues with it, and I know having a square grinder and a lot of other stuff, you know, once I have that and it's doing everything proper, I want to move on with more of the knife making. So a lot of the stuff that I do, you know, a lot of this stuff I'm just not going to... I like screwing around with this stuff. It's fun to practice with, but once I get the new grinder, I'm just not going to be as, you know... Like I said, this is straight up killing time, really. Well, there you go. Gives you a little more space, you know, if you have a bigger one to work with. But, yeah, I don't know. I guess that's just the only thing. Everything I kind of want to do is really blades. I mean, this is fun. I like blacksmithing. It's kind of cool. I mean, I've been doing the bottle openers, and the bottle openers are a lot of fun. But that's most of the blacksmithing that I really enjoy. Well, yeah, fair enough. I'm sure with this one, the grinder that I'm getting, it's got changeable arms and a changeable drive wheel, which is going to be really nice. The changeable drive wheel is huge in itself, because it's not a variable speed, but the guy basically told me that if you want to do wooden stuff on it, you've got to use the 4-inch wheel instead of the 7-inch wheel. The 7-inch wheel is great. You can kick ass and take names when you're grinding knives and stuff. Yeah, if I ever found anybody else that has an actual shop. I'm the only human being I know in this area that actually works with his hands. I have to go find some communities that do, bladesmithing and a lot of things like that. It's just not as prevalent in this area, unfortunately. So it's a little harder to find people and communities that do it. It's funny because Forged in Fire makes it look like there's guys all over the place, but every guy you see doing it on Forged in Fire, they live out in some place in the middle of nowhere. They've got some huge chunk of land. You always show them they're panning out to their farm and whatever, and there's so few people that do that kind of stuff because I'm in such an urban area, and it's, I mean, hell, my grinder's coming from California. Well, it won't set the wood on fire, he said, if I use 4-inch. So I've got both the 7-inch and 4-inch drive wheels coming. So the 4-inch drive wheel is better and more recommended for doing wood, in the finish work. So yeah, there's not a lot of them around here. That's the thing. Like, I would love to meet some machinists and guys who like doing that kind of stuff, but I don't know many. Like, there's nobody around here that does that. I spent a good part of this past Saturday, just trying to look for, like, a scrap/junkyard that wasn't, like, cars. So, like, I was trying to find, like you see these you see these guys going to a place and you're picking out, they're picking out pieces of steel and junk, Yeah. Well, maybe sooner or later. I keep trying to find the junkyards so I can find scrap first, but I don't think there's a lot of machine shops around here. I'll have to do some digging, but I also don't have a lot of time to go hang out in machine shops. I do work a 9 to 5, so most of those places are 9 to 5. So if I could find one that was open, that'd be great. I'd love to go sit in a machine shop with some guys on the weekend, but, a lot of them are, but like you said, a lot of them are machine shops. And I think, watching a machinist, well, yeah, exactly. Those guys that have that specialty stuff, I watch guys that, have $10,000, metal lathes and, what's this one video on YouTube, ClickSpring. This guy does, the guy's like, oh, how to do a project in your home machine shop. It's such a load of shit. Don't get me wrong, he does good work, but it's such a load of shit when this guy says your home machine shop. This guy has $100,000 worth of tools in this shop. Easy. Everything this guy needs. It's like it must take him a month to shoot a video because he has to order all these parts every time he's doing something. It's crazy. Yeah, exactly. $10,000 in welding stuff. But you look at this guy, if you've ever seen this guy ClickSpring, all this shit this guy has, he's got all these parts. It's like everything he does. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm just, I just don't have that kind of money to be spending. I kind of came about a little bit, not a windfall, but some money that I had tucked away. And so that's how I ended up getting my, my grinder. And that's why that's on order. Well, yeah, that's all they do with Jeep clubs. I have a buddy in a car club, but most of this, I think he's like one of the few members remaining. I think that car club is on its way out, by the way he says it, sadly. I don't think he's ever going to finish that damn car, come to think of it. tap my own threads here. That's what I need to do. It's don't get me wrong. I like doing some of the fabrication stuff, making a tool, like when I made the tool that goes in the anvil for unbending. Yeah, well, that's true. You know, like I made the tool that I made for unbending my. Where the hell is it? It's right here. So these rail anchor things that I have, you know, these things are a pain in the ass when you try to straighten them out. So what I did was I basically took a big ass bolt that I had, hammered it square on this side. And once it was hammered square, then I hammered a flat part. So now, once I heat one of these up, I can slide it in here and just crank it open. So I like making the tools, but I don't like making things that involve shitloads and shitloads of fabrication. You know, seeing guys do that stuff is like way above my pay grade. So I really just like making the knives. I really do. The knives are simple. They're fun. Hey, yo, what's going on, Matt? You're all done for the week, huh? Your weekend, you lucky bastard, your weekend starts early. You know, I really just want to stick to the knives. Like I said, this is just fun and games. These are just for giggles. You know, these are cool. They're for fun. Well, yeah, knife stab stuff. They also sell better. Being in a rural area, so what I was doing, Matt, before you got here, is I was working on these dumb coat hook things that I was thinking of making. Basically, I was going to take them and, you know, they were going to get U-bolted onto a board so you could hang your coat on them and shit like that. And I thought that'd be cool. So they were just something I was kind of working on before. I had a couple of them. But I love doing them, but unless you go to, like, some rural something or other where you're going to, like, flea markets and stuff like that, that kind of stuff doesn't sell, you know, unless you go out into the country somewhere. Oh, they are, and that's why I like doing them. It's so, like, this guy in general, like, so it's a fun Santoku style blade that I'm working on. Now, the issues that I have is that I can't get certain parts flat on that grinder. I can't get the metal ground even. So, like, the handle is not even. It kind of wiggles. It gets a little fatter and a little thinner. The top of this blade, if I look across the top, it's not square. It's kind of at an angle. And if I get... Oh, I'm getting it. I will. The reason I haven't done the Damascus is because I'm waiting for my grinder. Because since I can't grind something well like this, if I can't grind it well and I can't get it good, I don't see the point in wasting all that steel on a subpar finish. I want my stuff square. I want it shaped right. I want it thin. And yeah, and I don't want to ruin a good blade. So I'm waiting for the grinder, and once that's here, projects are going to change. Everything's going to blow up. I've got... we got some ball bearings here to do ball bearing Damascus. We got that first. I got some good 1095 and some mild that I'm going to layer to do some flat layered Damascus. The powdered steel's on the way to finish this off, so I'll be able to do that because I got tubes. Well, I got a tube. So I got that stuff to do the Damascus, but I've even got the acid. I got ferric chloride. 1 half gallon of ferric chloride, still in its lovely little bag, just in case. So yeah, I just don't want to ruin a good piece of steel. I don't want to put all that energy into a blade, and then, you know, and then just screw it up and make it not look as good as it could because that thing doesn't sit square, you know, because the two wheels running over the platen, one's higher than the platen, so it sits. Anything you grind, it grinds a curve. Well, fortunately for me, I'm trying to alleviate that by putting said chemicals in this. So Said ferric chloride is going to go in this, diluted 50-50 with water. That's the ratio people seem to say online is a good thing. I really need to sand this down because this is too tight still. So it'll go in here. It'll fill up to a line somewhere. I don't know where that line went. There was a line on here. Oh, there it is. So it comes up to about here. And so, yeah, this way I can keep it capped up. And this way I can do all my etching and all that good stuff. I'm going to mount this to something. I wanted to mount it to here, but I don't know about that. That was the original thought, but I might mount it to something else. So, we'll see. I have to figure something out. I have plenty of banding straps. So if I put it on the friggin' steps, I don't care. Whatever it is to hold it steady to something so it doesn't fall over. But yeah, this is going to become a capsule of acid soon. So, and actually when I was priming it, even though you don't have to do that when you're doing your own plumbing. But, I don't know, come on, I got to get this out of the light. It was really cool because the PVC primer, the glue primer, came down this thing here. It made this really cool purpley pattern. You can see, I'm trying to get it enough light. It's white, so my camera doesn't like it. But it gets this really cool purpley pattern all the way down the damn thing, which looked really cool. It just looked like lightning going all the way down here, so I thought it was kind of neat. But yeah, so that's what we've got that's what I've got in store. I think that, having something like that, doing the Damascus, and just sticking with the knives. I mean, that's really what I like doing. This stuff is just really just to kill time. I'm not going to become a blacksmith. I'm really not. If you look at that guy, you fucking can't remember his name. Bob Kramer. I mean, that's what he does, is knives. That's all the guy does. He does and knows knives, and he makes great knives. His knives sell for thousands of dollars. Maybe overpriced a little bit, but still, he makes really good knives. So I kind of want to just stay with making good blades. I think that's the best way for me to go. He probably does. He makes knives for like 5-star restaurants, Michelin star restaurant chefs. They all buy his shit. You have to buy a membership to his site just to be able to bid on his knives when they're released. That's how crazy it is. So I hope you're doing all right too there, Matt. I'm glad to see it's your weekend. Did you say you are going to be, you did want to do something on Saturday? I'm down for whatever, by the way. I gotta turn my volume back up. If you're still up for Saturday, I'm definitely down. I got nothing but time, baby. Nothing but time. Oh, we can watch some XFL. I got to talk to Vegas and find out where this, there's a couple of these scrap yards I want to check out. There's no websites for them, but like we passed by them when I was helping him move, and I want to go check them out. I think there might be some cool stuff there. Good junk stuff. I got so much steel, I think I'm okay. I have 3 things coming in the mail. 2 next week and 1 in a couple weeks, which is the grinders in a couple weeks, but I've got a new quench tank coming, seeing as the old terracotta one. Here's a lesson for anybody who's interested, who is watching or will watch this video. Terracotta is porous. It looks like a solid thing, but it's not. It's very much not. And I learned that by putting oil in it. And it's the oil just decided it was going to leave. It just seeps right out the sides. So, word of warning for anybody who tries to put something in something terracotta, it's porous. So, don't do it. Keep it to keeping plants in. I don't know. Yeah, well, this thing was painted. It was seeping through the paint. I don't know how that worked. I don't really care to know either. There's some rules of physics and shit that were getting broken, but yeah, but it should hold oil in. I mean, if it's seeping out that slow, shouldn't it hold oil in? Like, I know paint's not really porous either, though. So I don't know. I know what glaze is. I'm just saying that I would figure the paint would plug it up a little bit. it wouldn't let the oil seep out. But it does. It doesn't care. Paint doesn't give a shit. It just was like, yep, don't care. Just leaked all right the hell out, which was great. So I had to end up cleaning my whole floor down here, and everything's all scrubbed up. The oil's in a plastic tub for now, which is probably going to only last, well, I'll use the tub later for something, I'm sure, but the oil's in there, and then I'm going to have the new quench tank, which is welded steel, 6-inch square tube steel, with handles, which is nice. That'll help me move it, and a little lid in case there's a flare-up, which is also nice. That's a nice bonus. So that's going to be over here, and then the grinder's going to be over here. The oil is oil that I get from a restaurant. It's not really waste oil. I basically buy a 5-gallon jug thing of oil, canola oil, because from what I found out, canola oil is the next step down from buying crazy, stupid, expensive quench oil. And it's always worked really well. I've had no issues with it. I think it works great, and everybody else says canola is really good. It has a very high flash point, which is great for safety, so your face doesn't burn off. But I get it really cheap. My cousin runs a restaurant, so he gets me the oil for dirt cheap. Nah. No, it does its thing. It doesn't really, it doesn't really do much. It doesn't have any issues. None that I've seen. Maybe there's already something in it. I mean, it's made for fryers. It's fryer oil. So, I mean, it handles that kind of heat and eventually goes. So, down here, it's just kind of chilling. No, it really does. It smells like a Chinese food restaurant more than anything else. It doesn't, like, the bucket that's over here, you just smell that burning smell and just the smell of stuff cooked in it. Yeah, it still smells fine. It smells just like cooked oil. But I don't know. I don't think the canola oil really has much of a problem with that. Maybe that's why they use it in restaurants, because it doesn't get that issue. I don't even know what a canola is. Maybe. Yeah, maybe something like that. Maybe that helps with the chemical change. Because after a while, I mean, it gets nice and dark. Oh, it's corn. Weird. Well, maybe. Maybe it's there's something in it once you start burning it. But I figure with fryers using it, there's got to be something, you know. Otherwise, restaurants wouldn't use the shit. That's what I think. If I was running a restaurant and I had to change my oil once a day because it would start to smell like burnt ass. Oh, okay. That's canola oil. Well, so then it's plant-based still. I don't know. Maybe that stuff's more durable. Shows what I know. I just haven't had any issues. I do keep a lid on it so it doesn't just sit there exposed to air. So, I mean, you can see there's a lid that stays on it, so it doesn't just sit there airing out all the time. Even when I had it in the other thing, I did have the lid on it. So, don't know. What I do know is I want to finish this knife. So, as soon as that grinder shows up, it's already sharp enough to dig into the table. This is going to be a good knife. I like this one. Oh, hey, Mikey. How you doing? I did see you subscribed or followed. I appreciate that. I never got to say hello to you. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the channel. We're just kind of in the chatting portion of the of the show today. About 2 hours in, so I'm just kind of milling around. So I guess the current situation is that I'm in between grinders, is one way to put it. I am waiting on my new grinder. It's about 3 weeks out because they have a backlog. So I'm waiting for a new grinder. And then once the new grinder shows up, it's going to be all hands, and I am going to be making knives constantly. I'm waiting to finish this one because I want to get it right. Yeah, exactly. He doesn't fuck around. The guy's really good. He's one of the better knife makers in the world. His patterns are incredible. And that's just some of the stuff that he's got on the site. I can't even imagine the stuff that he sells in the auctions, like the one-off pieces. They got to be incredible. I can't even imagine. So, yeah, they're amazing and probably. I mean, I guess it's a premium because you're paying for the name and the exclusivity, but you know, I thought there was some stuff on there that it seems like there is almost like a store page. It seemed like I don't know. I was having trouble figuring the site out. Like it looked like there was a store page, sort of like you could buy sets of knives and stuff like it. I guess not. Maybe it was just showing off some of the stuff because when I looked for the auctions, there was nothing there. So I guess I don't know. It was hard to say, but welcome to the channel, then, Mike. If you do have any questions, please let me know. I'm trying to think of how long I'm gonna hang for tonight. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to make this evening, now that my forge has cooled. My grinder is kind of idling. Oh, maybe that's what it is. That's what I saw then. Yeah, okay. That's the stuff. Okay. Are you still out there too, Matt? You still hanging around somewhere? Or did you wander away? Let's see. I do have to get this shop in some kind of semblance of order. That's for sure. Some point in the next week. I still have to run a 220 volt line from over by my dryer. Well, not by my dryer, but from the dryer. So I have to run a 220 from over there. What the hell was that? Fucking ceiling falling down here? That was weird. Okay. So I have to run a 220 volt from over there. I've never really played with 220, so that's going to be an adventure. I don't know what the J box that's over there looks like, so it's all good. So I'm going to run the 220 volt over here for the new grinder, so I want to have that done. I'm sure, I think that I don't think he hammers out all of his stuff. There's got to be, I don't know, some kind of factory. Stuff's got to be coming from something that it's got to be manufactured a certain way. You know, it can't all be just hand hammered out. I've seen some of the gallery. I can't look at it now on my computer because I can't do both. Yeah, let me see if my phone will bring it up. Well, I mean, I'm trying to think like if you hammer the shape in, very similar to like making a ladder pattern. I mean, maybe you hammer the shape in and then re-hammer it. Or oh wait, Bob Kramer Knives. Where on the site is it? Oh look, Bob Kramer Knives. Kramer Knives Home. Okay. Where on the site is it? I got to bring this up. I got to look at what you're talking about here because now you got me curious. Knives Gallery. Okay. You should actually see his interview he does with he does a video with a gentleman. I think the guy died like last year. I can't remember his name. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's insane. I wonder if it's acid etched on. That could be. I see what you're saying. I'm thinking the July 2019 one. That could be just an etching that he does. I mean, these things are incredible. Just that goes without saying. But that has to be an etch. I can see that the Damascus is fine and pretty, but I think that has to be just an etch that he does. Oh, it's incredible. I mean, and that's why they cost a fortune. I mean, they're worth every penny. Don't get me wrong. Uh, with the he's got a hell of a shop that he puts on too. Oh, Anthony Bourdain. That's who it was. Anthony did Bourdain die? I don't know anything about showbiz anymore. I'm way out of the loop. But he did a thing with Bourdain. He showed him around his shop. It was basically kind of a yeah. That's right, suicide. I thought it was. I thought he died. But he does there's a video on YouTube of him in Kramer's shop and showing off, talking to him about some of the stuff and hey, cool, I got 100 messages today. Yeah, I thought he was. Yeah, it's I mean the shop looks pretty standard. I'm sure we don't see a lot of this stuff. We don't see a lot of of everything. I'm sure he's got some secrets that he didn't show, but I thought Bourdain had died. That's why I thought I remembered him not being around anymore after that. So yeah, you can look up the video. Anthony Bourdain and Bob Kramer. He goes through his shop and he does a good job of learning and trying to see the process that Kramer goes through to make the knives. He gives them the basic idea of quenching and, and the forging. And a lot of his stuff looks like it's already comes out in a billet. Like, he doesn't hand hammer this stuff. He's just got, it comes from some factory somewhere. And it's, they just pre-cut it and grind it, and then that's it. So, it doesn't look like he hand forges like I'm doing, unfortunately. So, but it's a cool shop. I mean, the guy's got... Oh, okay. Wow. Damn. It was suicide. He does have like a wall, like you'll see in the video. He has like a line of grinders. There's 9 or 10 of them. So I guess each one probably for its own separate purpose. For each wheel or attachment or arm, so he doesn't have to change shit. But he's got this whole thing. It's crazy. It's a great shop, gorgeous shop, but he makes gorgeous product, and you got to start somewhere, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make cool product. I think the grinder's really going to help. I think it's going to give me a good finish quality as well. And, I got my little bonus anvil. For anybody who hasn't seen it yet, this is a railroad track anvil. It's a lot lighter than the other one. I don't know why I picked it up so angrily. This is a railroad track anvil that I got from my friend Dennis's dad. We refinished it. Well, his dad had passed away, and there was no point in just letting the anvil sit around his shop and rot or when he sells the house. So we took the anvil, and we refinished it. I cleaned up the top, gave it a better finish on the top. And, yeah, we painted it up real nice flat black enamel to make it look nice. Just so it's protected. Probably going to put it on a shelf back here just to show it off, just so it looks nice. Yeah, I'll racing stripe it, yeah. No, it just looks classy like this. I just want to leave it nice and simple like this. So, just out of respect, so it looks good. I wish I knew a machine shop that would just be like, would put it in there and just grind the surface flat. Just get a nice flat surface grind. Hand pinstriped, yeah, right. My hand painting skills are awful. Extremely awful. To a level I am not comfortable. So, I just, I'm enjoying I'm still enjoying what I'm doing. I like hammering and just staying loose, but the anticipation of having the new tool is killing me. Yeah. Well, yeah, and if I find a good machine shop that I don't want to. Here's the thing: I don't need to pay to do it right now. I don't really. It's not a priority. It's just an anvil that's going to sit on the shelf. I've already painted the whole thing. I've oiled and waxed the steel, so it's not going to get rusty. I just want to keep it nice on the surface. If I really have the extra cash, whatever. It's just not a priority right now because I'm never going to use it. It looks pretty good. It looks like the only marks that are in here are from actual trains. It looks like it's only been hammered on like 2 or 3 times. And there's a couple little hammer marks. But the rest of the marks, they're lines that run this way. And they're deepish gouges, so they've got to be from the train. So, I belt grounded a little bit, but I didn't want to just kill a bunch of belt grinder belts. So, well, yeah, that would be nice. Like my other one, I'd love to get the one I have milled flat. That would be great if I could do that. If I was going to get something surface milled, it would be my main anvil. I would get that ground flat tomorrow if it was cheap enough. Just to have a nice flat surface, because I tried really hard to bring that one back from the dead, because it was, the edges on that are toast. Yeah, the corners, it's not square. Some of it's really worse than other areas, but if I could have that whole thing just so if I don't really feel like lifting this back up again today, but I will. Why not? Let me bring it up. Oh, it's still warm. Isn't that nice? So, I mean, besides the fact that this is old, yeah, this is from the 1800s, the late 1800s. But the corners are pretty well beat. It's kind of hard to tell from here. But yeah, the corners are pretty beat up, especially like in here. It's not really square. It's kind of low spotted here. So, well, it's also the thing I don't really feel like I'm really not just going to throw the money at it right now. Not yet. It works. And as much hammering as I can do, it doesn't have to be perfectly flush, because I'm never gonna make it perfectly flat. I'm gonna get it close, and then the grinder's gonna do the rest. Yeah, well, some point, once it needs it, once it's about due, I'll get it ground, get the surface all ground off, get a nice clean edge. It has to go down a bit. I'd hate to take too much off of this thing. It's old, but it needs a little love. It's, what can you do? But it's a good anvil. It's done me well for almost a year now. So, yeah, well, that it could. I've seen that. I've seen, like, fixing up parts like this in the corner where there's a big gouge and fixing it all up and patching it, but I think at this point it just needs to be ground down more than added. Like this whole area being chunked off is no good. That's a shame. They broke off whatever happened here, because I don't think this anvil was supposed to be like this. I've never seen an anvil like that. There's one hole here, one little hole here. We got the big hardy hole there. Yeah, that's always the way it is, huh, Jim? How are you, man? I hope you're doing all right. You missed most of the hammering this evening, unless you've been lurking for a while. But yeah, most of the hammering I'm doing, I'm just trying to screw around with some of these things. I'm thinking of making coat racks, little coat hooks out of them, putting them on something. I don't know. I'm just gonna U-bolt them to something to mess around. I like messing with these rail spikes. I got so damn many of them. Well, I don't know, because when I had seen pictures of these, I'd looked up these anvils online, and everything I'd seen was all flat across the top. There was none of this. So, nice. Well, hey, man, I always appreciate it, man. Thank you. It's always good seeing people on here. Seeing you guys from Facebook hopping in. Always feel free to say hello. keeps me entertained while I'm here, because it's getting to chat with you guys is better than me just sitting in my basement talking to myself, because that's otherwise what the hell just happens. So I appreciate when you guys can hop in. So soon, the grinder will be here. So that's when crazy shit happens. Hey, Vinny. So yeah, people have asked, Vinny. There is a railroad track near my house where they just redid all of the track. They ripped up all the track and redid all the ties and the spikes. And what they basically did was they took any of the used spikes that were no good, that they just pulled out, and any of the rail anchor that they weren't using, they just pulled it out and they threw it aside. And they just tossed it into the ground and into the rocks, and it's just literally laying all over the place. And I don't know. I wouldn't consider it stealing them. They're not being used. They're just sitting in the dirt and in the rocks rotting. So basically, I'm just cleaning up. So if anybody had a problem with it, fine. I'll give them back. I don't give a damn. But I just, basically, I was just cleaning them up. I would never take a spike or anything out of the track itself. So I would everything I found is all just laying off to the side that people just thrown away. So, cutouts. Well, maybe. Well, I mean, like I said, if it was a problem, I would ask. I'd be like, look, if it's a problem, I'll leave them here. It's fine, But I would never. I know the rules. Like, don't touch the track. I don't touch the track. I don't have to go near the track. The track is this thing has a huge height from the bottom of the ballast to the top. It's a good 4 feet, and I don't even have to go up near the track. It's all just thrown to the side in the sand and in the drainage. So I guess what they did was, once they were replacing everything, if they tried to drive a spike and it didn't go in, they would pull it out and throw it aside, or if they just dropped it, they just let it go. Yeah, exactly. I don't, I'm really not trying to cause any trouble. I wouldn't cut a piece of track off. I wouldn't take a rail anchor out from under the track. No, I have no issue with that. I would never do something that silly. It's all crap that was just laying in the dirt, in the sand, in the water, and basically I'm just stopping them from rusting. That's it. That's all I'm doing. I'm recycling this stuff, because otherwise I'm sure that's all it's going to do is just sit down there. I didn't go there when they were doing the work and take them off the pallets of whatever they had. No, Oh, yo, Wisdom, how you doing, sir? Welcome back. Good seeing you. But yeah, I wouldn't do that. That's insane. It's all sitting and being wasted. So I really don't think that anybody would have a problem. I would assume if they asked, I would just tell them and show them. Really, you don't even have to try to find them. Yeah, no, I know. I understand. And I would, if anybody had a problem, I would gladly be like, no problem. I'll leave them and leave. I wouldn't, but I would assume that if they threw it aside and it's laying in the dirt and it's just sitting there in the sand, I don't think their guys are going to come by to, it's been there for over a year. I don't think they're coming back to I'm not trying to cause any issues. I really don't want to cause a problem with these guys. If it was an issue, fine. Like I said, I'll leave it there. It's no issue. But yeah, so the two things that they replaced, Vinny, so you can see where some of my stuff comes from. Obviously, you've seen railroad spikes. You know what they look like. They're all over the place here. You've seen a railroad spike. And the other thing are these rail anchors. This is the interesting steel. From all my research, I found these are what's called 1065 steel. Is the general. It's very good steel. This is what I've made a lot of the knives out of. That's what this is made out of. So a lot of the stuff I've made is this stuff. And again, they're just strewn all over the place. Like I said, I would never touch the track. I don't have to go up on the ballast. It's just laying down in the drainage. So, so to give you a better idea of what these do, is when a track such as this is sitting, and say my anvil here is a tie, this thing goes underneath like this. Now I'm not gonna be able to bend it because I'm I'm not that strong, but it almost fits. But this little guy sits here to lock this, to lock the track between, lock it on the tie so nothing slides. So if my anvil here is the railroad tie that runs underneath, this is where this guy clamps onto, and it hooks on around the thing. They clamp it on, and boom, and that keeps the tie or anything from wiggling or turning like that. So that's what these are for, and they're really, really cool steel. You can see some of the ones we picked up, they excuse me, they probably tried to bend them too fast, and you get cracks and things like that. That one's split, but I can still use a piece of it. But yeah, so that's what I make most of the normal usable knives out of. The 1065 is where this one came from. This is one piece of the 1065. It's a little thick. The back is a little thick. yeah, I'll get on that. It is a little thick, but it was my first attempt to make like a longer knife, and I didn't have as great of a grinder, so I couldn't take a lot of material off of this thing. So but this was the fun one. This is a pretty good chopper. It's pretty sharp. Well, it was sharp. It needs a polishing. It's a little dull. I was screwing around with it for my new YouTube video. So I am working on a YouTube video, my intro video for the YouTube channel. So that's going to be coming out very soon. So I'll make sure I send all you guys over to the YouTube channel as well once that's done. So I'll be posting videos there. So no worries, Mikey. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be. I apologize. So I've already been on for about 2 hours. It is what the hell time is it here? It's about 9 o'clock here. So but yeah, I might be doing some weekend streams if I don't get too caught up watching the XFL. I don't know how many of you guys are planning on watching some of that, but I'm extremely curious. For any of you football guys out there who might want to watch it, I'm very curious to see what the hell this shit show is going to turn into, or if it's anywhere near as bad as it was the first time around. I really hope it's good. I hope it's decent football, but it's kind of hard to ask for that with, when you're taking guys that couldn't make the NFL or whatever. So I hope it's good, but I'll have to swing on this weekend. Probably get some hammering in on Saturday. If I can find somebody to help me. If you want to, I don't know if you feel like coming up, Matt. Maybe we can do a stream. We can bang out a couple bottle stoppers. It's always good having you around. If you want to hop on stream, that'll be some fun. So but yeah, this is basically the shop though, Vinny. And for anybody else who hasn't seen it before. If you do have any questions, I'll let you know about anything that you see around here, or what else, how else I do things. I mean, the spike knives are fun though. Do I have a good one over here? Most of these are garbage. I've done welds on them. Some of these have just not been finished. I've just got some garbage knives here. I don't know what I was doing, but these were fun to try to learn and practice on. The steel moves pretty easy, but it doesn't harden, unfortunately. So they don't hold an edge like they should. So they dull very, very quickly. Basically, you look at them, they dull. It's not as good as the 1065 stuff. The 1065 steel gets sharp, stays sharp for a very, very long time. I messed around with my 1065 blade, that chopper, for quite a while. We were chopping. Well, we chopped the baseball in half with it, which is always my favorite thing to show off. We cut a baseball in half in one chop. So that was kind of fun. In case you never knew what the inside of a baseball looked like. If you're still there, Jimmy, there you go. There's one clean cut through a baseball. That would be interesting. That would be a fun thing. We should take some of the old baseballs that we have. Well, then again, I was going to say I have a sword upstairs. I would say that would be interesting for batting practice. Throw baseballs to guys and see if they can cut a baseball in half. That'd be hilarious. although dangerous as hell. I don't trust any of those guys with a sword. Yeah, it is actually. So when it's done, basically, so you have what's called the pill in the middle. That's the red thing filled with rubber and cork. That's the pill. Then it's wound with a thick yarn first to really build up the shape. And then there's a thinner yarn. Let me see if I can bring it in out of light a little bit. Then it's got a thinner yarn up top, which is black. And then there's a white yarn right on the edge. Let's see if I can, I'm going to pull this away just a little bit. So you can kind of see the white yarn right under there. And then that's a really fine thread almost that's just, it's wrapped around. And then it's actually interesting. I watched how it's made on baseballs. And they, apparently the glue they put on there never dries. So if you went and pulled the cover off of a baseball that's 10 years old, and you started touching that white yarn, that white string on the outside, it's still tacky. Like, it just stays tacky. So that's kind of a cool glue that they have, and that's what holds the whole thing together. But, you know, like regular big yarn isn't going to hold like a round shape, so that's why they use the finer and finer thread to give it that round shape before they put the, and the bounce, they said, that's what gives it the springiness to let you hit it more than once, you know. Otherwise, if you hit like, we've had cork ones that we screwed around with at batting practice, and literally one shot and they're gone. One shot and they turn into a pancake. So I don't recommend those. So you know, they're not the best. So, but yeah, it's I don't know. Well, I'll have to. You guys will have to make sure you're coming back for the next week's show, next week's streams. So I do want to get some ideas for things to start making. So when we do the, I do have a chef's knife that needs to be ground. Where the hell did I put that thing? Oh, here it is. So we have a chef's knife that is about ready to get ground. So that's that one. Basically, I have to take the handle off, obviously, grind it. I did a little bit of grinding on one side just to see the flatness. But most of what I was doing on this was shaping. So I wanted to try to get the shape. I took a lot of meat off of it. It was a lot bigger, but now it's got a pretty good shape to it. I'm kind of happy with it. So, but this one's going to get ground as soon as the grinder shows. It's probably going to be my first few streams. I know I said I was like, I don't want to do all grinding, but now I'm going to get the new grinder. I'm going to be like, I want to grind stuff. So it might be a little hypocritical for a little bit, but that's I want to get some of these finished and looking good. So we got that one. We've also got a little chopper over here. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with this one. It's got fuzz all over it. It's kind of cool. Again, got to cut the end off. But just a little chopper that we did. I thought it was kind of cool. It's a lot lighter. I did hammer it pretty flat, but I want to make sure everything's nice and square on this one. I want to get it good and thin. I think it could be a fun knife to have on stream. You know, to cut stuff, chop stuff, have some fun with, or just sell it. If somebody wants a cool chopper, it's a pretty good size blade. It's not a normal standard shape, but I think it would mess some stuff up. So, but yeah. So there you go, guys. I do think I'm going to make it a wrap for tonight. I think I'm going to just take it easy. I don't know if there's anybody who has a channel they would like me to send you guys over to. I can gladly do that. If you guys have somebody that you think is worth sending you guys over to and sending a raid. Hey, well, some guys know the channels. I don't get out too much, so I don't really know a lot of the channels. So no, hey guys, it's I'm always glad seeing you guys. Oh, is he on right now? Chicks0904, is he on now? I usually send people over there. I didn't know if he was online. Okay, I'll have to I'll send the raid over. So, okay. There's the raid that's in. So, yeah, guys, really, thank you for hopping in. Don't forget, every Tuesday and Thursday, guys. Every Tuesday and Thursday, starting about 6:30. I like to try to get on here. So, hop in on Tuesday and Thursday next week. Let's try getting this thing cranked up. Because I promise you guys, there's going to be some really good, really amazing finishes once the grinder shows up. There's going to be some great product coming out. I promise you. There's going to be some great knives. I'm just so ready to use this thing and just make some awesome stuff for you guys. So, thanks as always, guys, for watching. I hope to see you guys again real soon, and I will see you all again next time. Take care.